Our series of favorite stories continues this week with a Maple Grove resident known as the Organized Mama. As Sarah Allen reports, she's on a mission to help families de-stress and declutter.
I've always been an organized person.
Even in her former career as a teacher, Jessica Littman had the organizational bug.
I still have cards from some of my former students that were like, "Your organizing with color helped me in high school."
Now she's teaching families how to get organized through her book, workshops, speaking engagements, and one-on-one virtual coaching.
I really want moms and families just to feel that calm in their space with everything going on in the world, especially right now. It just makes sense that home should be your place of peace.
Littman says she gets compared to Marie Kondo, the world-renowned organizing consultant, but says she has a different approach.
Organizing rooms, actually, I've found to be easier than organizing by category, which is Marie Kondo's thought process. And so if the categories don't work for you, then this method might.
Her method focuses on organizing one room at a time, moving things that don't get used often to better spaces.
Only keeping the pots and pans you actually use in the drawer or cabinet, and then the ones you use seasonally, store somewhere else. Like the bigger ones, we kind of keep up on the top shelf of the pantry. That way they're not taking up the prime real estate.
She recommends ditching items you don't use.
If I don't use it at all, or I don't admire it, or it's not serving a purpose in the spot that it is, then you can think about parting with it.
With items left, consider sticking a label on them.
When you have more than one person living in a house, label the drawer, label the shelf, whatever, so people know where things go. And then things will go back in place.
Knowing that all families are different, she encourages her followers to find a system that works best for them and their routine.
Sometimes it's not going to look pretty or look like it's supposed to, but if it's functional and working for you, then that's all that matters.
In Maple Grove, Sarah Allen, CCX News.
For thrifty shoppers, unwanted items can turn into significant cash. Emily Haugen takes us to the bins at a Brooklyn Park Goodwill outlet where thrifters line up for valuable finds.
At 6 a.m., we will have customers lined up waiting to be first in line to get into the stores.
In the early hours in Brooklyn Park, it's a mad dash for the bins.
This whole floor has 72 bins.
It's almost like treasure hunting.
They wait until every bin is out and then they tell you can go. And it's just everybody's digging.
The bins, also known as the Goodwill outlet, have become a place for thrifters to play.
Yeah, well, it's always a rush once you find something that you really like. You're like, oh, I need to keep going.
Treasures priced by the pound. Megan and Lily have perfected the hunt.
It's always a rush when you find something and then you end up paying 20 cents for it.
They shop for their closets. Others hunt for a profit.
You just dig, and it's amazing what you find. Yesterday I found a full-length cashmere men's overcoat.
Catherine Haugrud is one of the Minnesota thrifters making a living secondhand.
I list so many items every day. I ship so many items every day, whatever needs to be shipped.
She was a teacher until the pandemic.
I niched down to what I knew the most and could sell the best.
She's built her online business over the past 3 years.
If you learn it and you do it right and you follow the rules, then yes, you can make a living.
Catherine isn't the only reseller. General Manager Ken Abondo says the bins see plenty of regulars.
Some of those customers stay the whole day just shopping. It's a full-time job for them.
Abondo says thrifters and resellers help Goodwill in a big way.
In a year, we save about 65 million pounds that needs to go in a landfill because we are picking through, making sure that we can salvage as much as we can.
It gives a new life to treasures left behind. In Brooklyn Park, Emily Haugen, CCX News.
Now to one of my favorite stories in the city of Plymouth. I met up with a useful helper that gets plenty of usage each summer.
This is a full-size soccer field here.
In the city of Plymouth, sports are abundant. Crews maintain nearly 100 playfields throughout the city, many of which require paint.
Football and soccer are pretty line intensive. They use a lot more paint, and to do it the old-fashioned way would be incredibly time consuming.
Jason Goring is Plymouth's turf and horticulture manager, and it's his job to get the city's fields painted to the exact specifications of the teams using them.
Our goal is ultimately to paint once a week, and it really depends on the growing season of the turf.
It's a job that's a lot easier now that they have Roxanne on board. Roxanne is the city's relatively new field painting robot. Plymouth's Parks and Recreation Department has been using Roxanne for the last several years to do a job that once required 3 people, a lot of rope, and some complicated math equations.
Pre-Roxanne, it is a lot of effort to lay out, let's say, a soccer field with ropes and painting it with a 3-wheeled machine.
Since paying tens of thousands of dollars to acquire Roxanne, a project that once took 3 hours to complete only takes about 30 minutes. Not only is Roxanne faster and more efficient, it's able to do areas like this corner kick spot with pinpoint precision. The layout of every field is programmed into a tablet. All they have to do is fill it with paint and then tell Roxanne where they are.
Once you are on a soccer field, you would pull up the field that you're going to paint and hit the execute button, and Roxanne will go and paint that automatically.
And while Roxanne does her thing, it frees up park staff members to do other important tasks.
I think it's just a smarter, more efficient way to get work done.
In Plymouth, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.